Hello dear friends, happy to announce today that I will be the lead multiplayer versus designer for ZeroSpace. It's a new age RTS that we are announcing today for the first time. I have been waiting for years literally to share this with you. The project has been in development for 3. I joined the team about 2 years ago, and with a wonderful cast as far as the design team is concerned. We have been putting a lot of work and thought into it. So shout out to Giant Grant Games, to Maguro, to Will, and Sasha, Scarlett, and of course Marv, who is kind of the heart of this project and has had the vision for it. So with those things out of the way, I want to invite you to follow our Kickstarter. The link will be down below, and all the pertinent information about the game will be found there. I also want to invite you to wishlist us on Steam for visibility. It will help a whole lot. So much love to you all. I'm gonna leave you now with the cinematic trailer for the game, followed by a brief explanation of the game systems and some of the design work that we have been doing up until this point, and lastly followed by a short testimonial on how it's felt for me being on this incredible team. Much love to you, and thank you. Hello dear friends, it's CatZ, and I'm gonna give you a tour of ZeroSpace. So first things first, I'm gonna go to the change faction screen. Over here you have a choice between Protectorate and Grell, the main 2 factions, and to the right augmenting mercenary factions in Maran, Dread Raiders, and Valkaru, each of them offering 5 different units to plug into your main faction. In the middle, you may have observed there is a talent system that is really an intertwined XP talent system. So you get XP, you level up, and then you can access talents. Talents are going to be unique to your factions, both the main one and the mercenary one. So you can mix and match from the get-go. So you can see if I choose Protectorate, different set of talents for the first 2 rows. If I choose Grell, different sets of talents for the first 2 rows. And if I choose different mercenaries, the third row of talents also changes. So, all right, let's go check it out. You'll find our designs are rather ambitious, but we are very happy with where we're at, to be completely honest. The game feels amazing, and we think it plays pretty well. So I'll just go over, I guess, our design philosophies to some degree, and I hope you enjoy this video. First of all, there is Hexite here. This is our main resource, our base resource, I suppose you could call it, and it is being mined by our root colony, which is basically how you expand in our game. It's an outpost of sorts, and you can see that the extractors are building themselves. So already, as far as traditional macro is concerned, we are simplifying it and making it easier and more accessible to players. There's still harassment to be done as far as the economy is concerned. You can kill extractors, or if you have enough DPS, you can kill the much tankier main base, the root colony. But as a whole, we have made a lot of design space and simplifying systems that we feel are not very heavy on rewarding decision making by systems that we think are a little more interesting. So, you know, the way I like to think about it is that I don't feel like RTSs ever learned from MOBAs in the way that MOBAs had a chance to learn from RTSs. And it's not just MOBAs, it's a lot of different games as far as inspiration, including card games and a lot of our own ideas that just kind of, you know, generate over time as a consequence of thinking in so many different ways. We really have an extremely creative team, and we are always just brainstorming and coming up with awesome solutions. These guys right here are workers, or are builders, so I just build a nourishing pot with it, select it and build it. Nourishing pots are the supply depot equivalent for Grell, and they're really more like a worker 3 Moonwell, I suppose, in the sense that they heal and they provide energy to units nearby. Each of the supply structures in every faction are significantly different in design, so they all have a little bit more flavor than just sitting there, you know? This is your Grell Prime route, and from it you can make scavengers. Scavengers are the only real worker in the game, and I'm gonna send it straight to the Flux node, which is the second resource, the more precious resource, the tech resource, right? That you need to unlock higher tiers of both units and buildings, upgrades, etc. So we're gonna be making that scavenger.
Unit production complete.
The game is extremely
Production
dynamic,
is now idle.
right? But this time around, obviously I'm just explaining, not really playing. So we're gonna be late to spawn our hero, which once we have a drafting phase will not even have to be spawned, and we're gonna walk it towards the middle of the map. The last thing on this screen to note is the mercenary faction, which is here in the tavern, and you have access to those units there, and they come in charges and they recharge over time. Over here I've arrived at the middle, and I'm gonna use my first ability, which is an AoE slow and damage over time, to try to clear this neutral creeps. And you can see that they give me a little bit of minerals as well, of Hexite. So 5 per. It used to be 10. We have been tweaking with the values because we don't really want any of these mechanics out on the map to be too oppressive. We want a lot of contesting out on the map. Like, that's why there's also this rich flux deposits that are also semi-random on where they land. And once you get things like the XP tower, for example, you start getting a little bit more of an XP drip, but you already had an XP drip by default. Over here, the yellow bar is what signifies your XP, and whenever it reaches the end, it's gonna level up. So I'll have a 1 popping up here in a second. There's the 1. There was a little animation for the level up. I'm gonna click on it, and I can choose between the talents that we talked about earlier. You can just hotkey them, or rather press a hotkey. So obviously the menu is not as oppressive as it looks when it's invading your whole screen, but if you want to read them through, this can be useful. So there's movement speed, that's my favorite usually, and there's pillage, which is Scarlet's favorite a lot of the time, as she is rather aggressive. So we'll go for movement speed this time around.
I hear you.
The hero also has another 2 abilities. One of them is going to be Deep Burrow, which allows it to teleport anywhere on grass and bring units along with it. Only if they're super near the hero though. And the third ability is Consume, which consumes a friendly unit to heal my hero, but I mean it's full HP. So just kind of killed for no reason there. Since our supply depots are long done, we can start making the basic army building.
I hear you.
For Grell, it's called the Grell Incubator. And there is a tier 2 building, which is the Grell Medium Incubator, and a tier 3 building, you guessed it, a Grell Large Incubator. We can also make some mercenaries, because why not? Actually, we're supply blocked? No. Why can't I make mercenaries? Oh, I got scammed. Oh well.
You pierce my mind.
That's just so bad. Why can't... Oh, because my barracks is not done. I'm a dummy. Yeah, so usually I would have had that done. There are a bunch of mercenaries. Alright, so we've gone over the XP system. The next system that I want to introduce you to is the blue bar next to the yellow bar. So the blue bar is our power system. You harness power whenever you lose units in combat. And what that does for us basically is provide us with anti-snowball mechanisms.
Rise my spawn.
So actually let's just lose some units so you can see the blue bar go a little bit up. So each unit you lose, the blue bar goes just a little bit up. And then you can recycle, in a sense, those units that you lost in order to augment your army or just your general gameplay through the top bar. So the blue energy informs your actions on the top bar. Right now we have 2 basic options. The first one is going to be an underground transport, similar to a Zerg Nidus. And the second one is Infusion, which is the banner Grell ability. So I'm going to use Infusion on any allied unit, including mercenaries. I'm going to use it on this guy. And you'll see it'll heal a little bit of HP. And whenever it's done morphing, it will also turn it into a larger model that does significantly more damage and has significantly more HP as well.
Your motives are mysterious.
Not just from the heal, just it also increases its HP. The other 2 top bar abilities are basically unlocked through talents, so the 2 systems are in some ways intertwined as well. The last thing that I want to show you is going to be this building, so I'm just going to make one of them. And maybe start a medium incubator just to show. The bases can also be upgraded defensively to gain significantly more armor. So if your base is ever being attacked, you can morph it and kind of save yourself, but you lose a little bit of resources in the process. So again, there's always an advantage, but the advantage is not usually too oppressive until you get to the later stages of the game where things become a lot more volatile.
Reawaken.
Reawaken indeed. So here's our upgrade structure done. There is an upgrade structure for tier 1, an upgrade structure for tier 2, and an upgrade structure for tier 3. So pretty straightforward. The upgrade structure for tier 1 contains the same units to be upgraded that the tier 1 army building would contain. So we'll go to it, we'll click on Stinger, and we can choose one of 2 mutually exclusive upgrades. So this is a lot to favor player self-expression and also to favor a lot of player adaptability to their opponents and consistency with their own playstyle and their own strategy. So we're gonna choose, say, Lifesteal, and then if we had the tier 2 upgrade here, which we're gonna start right now, we could also consequently choose Incubation or Cliff Jumping. And those are 2 radical, I'm not sure if radical is the right word, but they're 2 very strong upgrades for any one unit that you choose, really, right? So at the same time, you have to choose carefully because unlike global upgrades, they don't affect every single unit. But that's the gist of it. I mean, there's a lot more to it, obviously. Those are, for example, creep tumors.
Raise my spawn.
The harvesters also for each faction have unique abilities. For Grell, it is actually spawning creep tumors for free. Am I dying to the AI? Ridiculous. But you basically get the point. So that's been the tour. I hope that you... I'm gonna defend this though, just for the people.
Building upgraded.
But yeah, that's basically it. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your time. And I hope to see you around. I hope to talk to you soon. Take care. I go to bed thinking about this game. I usually dream about this game. I wake up and I'm still thinking about the game. And it is really grabbed all of my attention in the best possible way. I feel like I am more productive than I have been in a very long time. I feel like I am at my best self, like really driven to push forward and produce something. And this is something that I haven't been able to say in, I want to say at least something like 10 years. Ever since I was a pro StarCraft 2 player, and especially at the beginning where there was a lot of experimenting, a lot of creative thinking and problem solving. That's when I was at my best before, and ever since I haven't been able to get back there until today. For the last 2 years I've been working on this project, and it has really truly felt amazing. I feel like my skill sets here are valuable. I feel like I have a team. I'm surrounded by a team of creatives that are not afraid to take what you might call risks, in the sense that we are not afraid to experiment with new concepts, with importing concepts from different game genres even, and seeing how we can adapt them to solve for the very unique problems that RTS design proposes. And that process has just been extremely rewarding, because everyone's always wanting to iterate on each other's ideas and not just their own. Everyone is incredibly receptive. The egos, I guess you could say, are left at the door when we go into our discussions about design, because it's really for all of us about the overarching vision. It's really for all of us about producing the best possible game that we can. It's really for us about not being afraid and not just, you know, doing a copy paste of previous games, but rather making a product that is truly unique and special and has an incredible potential to reach wider audiences and to also welcome the existing hardcore fan base.